So this is a follow-up video to this video that I made last week, in which I discussed about a certain new location called as the WSQK radio station, which is a very important new location added to the filming of Stranger Things season 5, and I highly recommend you to check out that video, because in that video I have discussed everything that we know about that specific WSK radio station, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that that radio station is one of the most locations of the entire season 5. Please check that video out here. And now, as I said, this is a follow-up to that video, which means in this video we'll be talking about another new location of Stranger Things season 5, and it is this mansion, this exact mansion. Now I'll be honest with you, we don't have any information apart from one about the interior of this mansion. Like, we don't know about who owns this mansion or who lives in this mansion or who controls this mansion. We don't know anything about it, but we do have a few speculations which we'll discuss later in this video. But we do have a few very important details which we get from outside of this location. First of all, let me tell you what we do know about the interior of this location, like who was inside of this location. So the people who took these pictures of this mansion said that they heard screams from within this mansion, but they also said that they didn't know with absolute certainty that whose screams were there, but they did say that they felt that those screams were of Millie Bobby Brown's. That means 11's. If those screams were actually of 11, that naturally means that 11 was inside of this mansion. Now please keep this thing in mind, that 11 was probably inside of this mansion and she was screaming. Please keep this exact thing in mind, because we'll talk about this later in this video. Now let's talk about the more interesting thing. What do we have from outside of this location? So these two vehicles, the first one is a WSQK radio station van, and the second one is Steve Harrington's car, on which we can see on the top an antenna is present. Now both of these vehicles were actually seen outside of this mansion, and this exact thing about the WSQK radio station van and the antenna over Steve Harrington's car, both of these vehicles were also seen in front of the WSQK radio station, which I talked about in that video earlier. So both of these vehicles connecting to something related to radio actually makes both of these locations very important. So basically this new location, this mansion, actually have something to do with radio signals, with radio waves, or something with communicating with radio. And by the way, inside of this van we can also spot Joyce Byers. A new character in this season, and that new character is going to be played by Linda Hamilton, and reportedly she is going to be one of the military people. So now let's come back to the two things that I told you about to keep in mind. The first thing was the speculation of the owner of this mansion, or what goes inside of this mansion, and the second was else present inside of this mansion and she was screaming. Now here's the theory. That mansion could belong to Linda Hamilton or the military, or just to simply put it, this mansion could be controlled by the military, and Linda Hamilton's character, the military character, could have possibly captured 11, and she might be torturing 11 as well. And to help Elle in some way or the other with the radio signals and all, our guys from the radio station could have sent the two vehicles that I talked about earlier, which was the WSQK radio station van, and the second was Steve Harrington's car with a big ass antenna on top of it. So they might have sent out these vehicles to kind of help 11 from outside of the mansion. I know it's a very wild theory, but nonetheless it's a very credible theory, I feel. So please tell me in the comments what do you think about this theory, and please, I highly recommend you to check out this video, which is a video connected to this video and this playlist. I upload a new video every Sunday in which I discuss everything that has happened from the sets of Stranger Things season 5. So please check that playlist as well, and as always, thank you so much for watching.